Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with the part 2 of the French Revolution. Okay, so before starting with the part 2, let us first see some important dates given over here. In 1774, Louis XVI became king of the France. This we have also discussed earlier in the previous video, which was part 1 of the French Revolution. In that video, I told you that he became the king of the France, and when he got the throne, he faced an empty treasury. And when he got the throne, at that time people were also not happy with him, with his work, because he was spending a lot of money on his pleasure and his palace and all. And in 1789, the conviction. Now what is conviction? Conviction was a meeting which was held at that time for the proposal of new taxes and for the proposal and the passage of. At that time in 1789, the king cannot pass the proposal, cannot pass the tax directly. He has to call a convention, which was a meeting of the all the three estates, and then the all the three estates sat together, and they decided whether this tax should be applied or not. Okay, in 1791, a constitution is framed to limit the powers of the king and to guard basic rights of all human beings. So, in 1799, the constitution of France was framed to limit the power of the monarch or the king. In 1792-93, France became a republic. Okay, and the king is beheaded. Overthrow of Jacobin. Now, what is Jacobin? We will study about Jacobin Republic. Jacobin Republic. It was a political group, you can say, which ruled over the France for some time. And in 1804, Napoleon became emperor of the France. Napoleon was a military dictator. He also ruled over France for certain years, but in 1815 he was defeated at Waterloo. Okay, now let us come to our part 2. So in old regime means in olden times. At that time, in old times of France, monarch did not have the power to impose taxes, as I told you just now. He can't propose taxes on his own. He has to call a meeting of estates generals, then pass the proposal of the king. The estate general was a political body. It was a political body to which the three estates sent their representative. Just like we in our India elections, we are some representatives stand and we give vote to that representative. Same was the case at that time. The all the three estates sent their representatives to the estate general meeting, which was a political body. Okay, on 5th May 1789, Louis XVI called a meeting to pass a new tax. A hall in Versailles was designed for the proposal. There was a hall in Versailles which was designed for the meeting. It was set as the location where the meeting was held on 5th May 1789. First and the second estates sent 300 representatives each, who were seated in row facing each other. But the third estate sent 600 representatives, who were standing at the back of the first and second representatives. Okay, the third states represented by prosperous and educated members, like the lawyers and the businessmen, as I told you, who all came in the third state in the first part also. Peasants, artisans, and women were denied in the hall. Peasants, artisans, and women were not allowed in that meeting. Only the big businessmen who were included in the third estate and the lawyers were allowed. But the demands of these peasants, artisans, and women were sent by their representatives in about 40,000 letters. The women's artisans gave letters to their representative to give to the king, that these are the problems we are facing in the country or at this particular time. Now, voting in a state general is conducted according to the principle that each state had one vote. Now, there was not the rule that one person one vote. There was one estate one vote. the whole state has only one vote. The third state demanded that one each member should have one vote. Okay, not one state one vote. So the third state demanded that. So this democratic principle put forward by the philosophers like Rousey in his book The Social Contract gave this idea that one each member should have one vote. So the third estate people followed this principle of Rousey, and when the king rejected the proposal of the third estate that one member should have one vote, the members of the third estate just walked out of the assembly at that time. Okay, they escaped from the meeting, and on 20th June assembled in the hall of an indoor tennis court in the ground of Versailles. There was a ground in there was a ground tennis court in ground of Versailles, and at that particular point all the representatives of the third estate assembled there on 20th June. They swore, they take a oath, or they decided that not to disperse till they had drafted the constitution for France that would limit the powers of monarch. So they decided that we would not escape, we would not go from this tennis court till we have drafted a constitution of France. And they were led by the third representatives of third state were led by their leader was Mirabeau and Abbe Sayas. These were the two these were the two people who led the third state's representatives. And let us a little bit know about Mirabeau and Abbe Sayas. So Mirabeau was born in a noble family, second estate, and he delivered powerful speeches to the crowd assembled at the Versailles. He was a good speaker, and Abbasius, originally a priest in the first estate, wrote an influential pamphlet called What is the Third Estate? Okay, so this you can see a picture of the representatives who were assembled in the ground of Versailles in the tennis court. Okay, now there was severe winter and bad harvest. So, as you know, if there is a bad harvest, the demand was high but the production was low. So, the prices of bread rose. After standing in long queues at the bakery, crowds of angry women stormed into the shops. So, there was a bad harvest, there was severe winter, there was a shortage of food, and the women have to queue up in long queues. They have to stand in long queues to buy just a packet of bread. And when the in standing long queues, they were frustrated and they stormed into the bakery or the shops. So at that particular time, in this situation, the king ordered troops to move into Paris on 14th July. The agitated crowd destroyed the Bastille. Now king ordered the troops here means the army of France, to move into Paris from the borders, to move into Paris and to uh, calm down, or to uh, explain the agitated crowd means the angry crowd, which the angry women which were which were angry at the shop or the bakery. So the king called the troops to move into Paris on 14th July. And at the countryside, the rumor spread that men are way to destroy the ripe crop. The crop which was produced, there was a rumor spread that manner are coming to destroy that crop. Okay, peasants in fear, they they had a fear that they will destroy their crops. So the peasants rushed to the homes of nobles. The peasants rushed to the home of nobles, looted their grains, burnt documents containing a record of manorial dues. Now, what are manorial dues? Manorial dues are a document in which all their dues are written, that okay, this peasant has to give, and you can say it was a fixed amount which the peasants gave to the nobles. So the manorial dues are that amount. So they destroyed the record of that manorial dues. Okay, they looted the grains of the nobles, and when the peasants, as we have discussed in the first part also, that the peasants made up the 90% of the population. So as the peasants moved to the nobles fled, and many migrated to neighboring countries. Many fled from there, and many went to the neighboring countries to have shelter. Now, Louis XVI accepted the constitution. You know that there was a very bad situation, so Louis XVI has to accept the constitution. So he accepted the constitution on 4th August 1789 and passed a law to abolish feudal system. What was feudal system? The estate system, first estate, second estate, third estate. So this system was abolished on 4th August 1789. The clergies were forced to give up their privileges. What were the privileges? I told you in the first part. The taxes which the clergymen or the churches take from the third estate were also abolished, and the land which was owned by a church was also confiscated, which means the church was the land the land in which the church was made was taken away from the the clergymen, and government acquired 2 billion livres from the clergymen, or the taxes which the clergymen took from the third estates. So finally, France becomes a constitutional monarchy. What do you mean by constitutional monarchy? There was a constitution also, but there was a monarchy also. So a mixture of constitution and monarchy is also called constitutional monarchy. There was a constitution to limit the powers of monarch, but uh, the monarch had some power. He had some power to rule over the country, but he did not have a complete rule over the country. That is called constitutional monarchy. So constitution completed in 1791, and the main objective of the constitution was to limit the powers of the monarch. The constitution, the main motive of the constitution is to limit the powers of the monarch. But not all citizens had the right to vote according to that constitution. Only the men above 25 years of age who has the ability to pay taxes equal to at least 3 days of a labor's wages, okay, had the right to vote. Rest of the men's or women's or the youth did not have the right to vote. In the constitution gave several rights to the citizens, such as the right to life, freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, equality before laws, and many more privileges which the constitution gave. But there was a you know bad point about the constitution was that it gave the right to vote only to the men who were 25 years age. And more worse thing about constitution was it, and they should have the ability to give at least 3 days of a labor's wage. So this was a little bit bad thing about the constitution of that time. So thank you for watching.